Hey, what's up guys, this is Shukesh once again. Today I have for you the full in-depth review of the Motorola Moto G4 Play, which is priced at 8,999 rupees on Amazon.in, and at this price point there are a couple of other devices, especially the Xiaomi Redmi 3S Prime, and I have actually a comparison. You can check the description below for the link. In this review also, I will talk about the Redmi 3S Prime. Let me first have a close look at the exterior design, which is the typical Motorola design with plastic build with a plastic bezel which can get scratched quite easily, so you should attach a case or a flip cover. Now there is a water repellent nano coating, so a little rain won't harm, but you should never submerge this phone underwater. Now, in addition to that, since a lot of you guys asked, this smartphone is fully compatible with Reliance Jio SIM cards, that is, this is a VoLTE supported 4G handset, and you can of course use this device with the Jio router using the software Jio 4G Voice. Check the description below for the reviews on this router. Now let's get back to the device and let me give you a quick tour of the exterior design and ports. First of all, you have a 5 inches HD IPS panel with 294 ppi, and this is, I think, the best asset of this smartphone. The color rendering, the sharpness are one of the best in class, and the viewing angles are actually quite good, though from certain angles there is slight color shift. As you can see from this angle, the screen actually looks slightly warm, so this is not something you should be worried about. Overall, the screen is quite satisfactory, quite good, and of course 5 inches screen size is more user friendly than a 5.5 inch screen. Below the display you are getting the microphone hole, and there you get the ear speaker grill, which also works as the loudspeaker. It's actually quite loud, louder than a lot of smartphones, and as it's front firing it seems louder, but of course it's not something extraordinary. You have both the sensors, and the front camera is a 5 megapixel shooter, the rear camera is 8 megapixel. There is also a secondary microphone for noise cancellation as well. At the top you have the 3.5mm headphone jack, and at the bottom there is the micro USB port, which is OTG enabled, that is, you can attach your pen drive, hard drive, mouse, keyboards, etc. So that's a very handy storage expansion option you might need sometimes. The back cover is removable, and you have also got an SD card slot which is expandable up to 256 gig. Now the most interesting part is this Motorola Moto G4 Play has got a removable battery which is of 2800 mAh, and it's also a dual SIM device taking micro SIM cards. Now there is also no NFC on this smartphone, and most importantly no magnetometer, so you cannot use this device with VR headsets for 360-degree panorama views. Now let's talk about the software, the interface, and of course the added features, some tips and tricks, so be with me guys. I will discuss about the benchmarks and the gaming performance later. Now the interface is quite snappy, there wasn't any lag, any hiccup whatsoever. The applications open quite fast, and thanks to the stock Android there is no hanging or lagging issue on this Moto G4 Play. If you want, you can of course customize the interface with Android launchers. As usual, Motorola added some extra features. Let me show you one by one. First of all, I want to talk about the Moto display, which is, I think, one of the best features on a smartphone. When your device is on a table and you have pending notifications, once you pick it up you will get this white lined screen, which is battery saving and also extremely handy because you can actually check your notifications, you can read the whole message without even unlocking the smartphone. After reading the notification, you can swipe down to dismiss or swipe right or left to ignore the message. So if you have any new notification, this old notification will show up again. So dismiss the notification to mark this as read. Now there is a very interesting and new feature on this G4 Play, which I don't think you will need that much. As you have seen, you have to just swipe up to shrink the whole display for better one-handed uses, and tap anywhere on the black part to go back to the full screen. You can access to all these features from this Moto application, and you can customize the Moto display, that is, you can block your sensitive apps like your Gmail account, your messages from showing notifications on the lock screen. You can also keep the screen off in the night. The shrink screen option can be enabled or disabled from here. The RAM on this phone is excellent, 2GB, considering you have got stock Android interface, and free RAM is 1.1GB after installing lots of applications. The storage is 16GB, which is not bad of course considering the price point, though I should mention the Redmi 3S Prime has got 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage. Let's now quickly talk about the actual performance of this phone. This Moto G4 Play packs 1.21 GHz Cortex A53 quad-core processor with Snapdragon 410 chipset. The GPU is Adreno 306, so quite mediocre CPU and GPU, but considering the price point and the brand, it seems quite reasonable. There you have the sensors. Now as you can see on Antutu 6 you have got 28,624, which is again a mediocre score, but it's not that bad considering the price. There you have the 3D Mark Gamers benchmark score, and on iStorm Unlimited this phone managed to get 4470, which is not the best for a smartphone in this category. There you have the Redmi 3S Prime, and let me show you the score. On iStorm Unlimited you have 8833, which is exactly double, so theoretically the gaming performance of this Redmi 3S Prime is twice as powerful as this Motorola Moto G4 Play. I also have the Redmi Note 3 2GB RAM variant, which is priced at just 1000 rupees extra, that is 10,000 rupees. As you can see guys, there is a huge difference in score. This Redmi Note 3 is basically 4 times as powerful as this Moto G4 Play, and the price is just 1000 rupees extra. The storage and RAM are same. The screen is Full HD 5.5 inches on the Note 3. The back cover is metal, and as you can see there is a fingerprint sensor as well. The looks is I think also better. It's up to you which one you choose. If you like the Xiaomi brand, then you should definitely buy this Redmi Note 3 for just 1000 rupees extra. Otherwise this Redmi 3S Prime, which is priced at exactly same 9000 rupees, is worth buying. You have the same screen resolution and size. The looks and build is up to you which one you choose. The Redmi 3S Prime seems quite compact in hand, and if you are into gaming you should actually prefer this smartphone. Otherwise, for user experience, for snappy UI, better battery and heat management, the Moto G4 Play is worth buying. Once again, if you are into gaming, if you want to play games like Nova 3, then you should consider the Xiaomi devices. The frame rate of this game on this Moto G4 Play is very poor. There is occasional lag, and I think you can still play this game on this phone if you have the patience. And I need to mention here other games like Asphalt 8, Modern Combat 5, 6 Guns, Dead Trigger 2 are easily playable on this G4 Play. Only this Nova 3 is lagging, which is an extremely high graphics game. So if you are into this G4 Play and not interested in super high graphics gaming, then you should actually go ahead get this phone. The interface is, as I mentioned before, quite snappy. There is no hanging or overheating issue I have faced so far. Now I have made a side-by-side speed test in between the Redmi 3S Prime and the G4 Play, so let's have a look. Well, surprisingly the G4 Play is quicker, so the stock interface is actually quite snappy. Next I have the messaging application, and I think both are very close. It's quite hard to tell which one was faster. Definitely this time the Xiaomi Redmi 3S Prime is the winner. It's much faster actually. Next I have the gallery application. You have the Google Photos app, which is I think the worst app because you always get this logo no matter how fast your device is. Next I will try some games. Let's first start with the Subway Surfers. Once again the Xiaomi smartphone outran the Motorola Moto G4 Play. So in this test also the Redmi 3S Prime is the winner. Next I will try the Temple Run 2. As usual the 3S Prime is much faster. The next game I'm gonna try is the Modern Combat 5. Well, this time the Moto G4 Play actually completed loading before the Redmi 3S Prime, so the Moto smartphone is the winner here. It's time to check the RAM management, and as I mentioned before, you have got 2 GB of RAM on the Motorola device and 3 GB of RAM on the Redmi device. I will try to open the first application I launched, which is the dialer, and as you can see, this application is still in the memory of the Redmi device, whereas the G4 Play is actually loading the dialer app once again. That's why it's taking some time. The camera is also reloading on the Motorola smartphone. So the 3 GB of RAM is doing its job, keeping almost all the applications I have opened so far. There you have the Play Store application, which is also loading from the start on the Motorola Moto G4 Play. Guys, the next thing I want to talk about is the camera. You are getting an 8 megapixel shooter at the back with full HD recording at 30 fps. The maximum aperture is f2.2 and there is also an LED flash. You can change the aperture and also touch to focus. The shutter is not the fastest I've seen. The front camera is a 5 megapixel shooter with a screen flash, which might be useful in dark. Now let me show you some camera samples. This is the image I have just clicked, and as you can see, it's extremely sharp. There I have some outdoor images as well. These images are clicked at 5 AM in the morning, and as you can see, the color recording, the focusing, everything seems quite well. For a device in this price category, I am actually very much satisfied with the camera quality. I will rate it 8 out of 10 considering the price point. You can check these camera samples on my Facebook page, facebook.com/gadgetsportal. One thing I should mention here, the autofocusing of this camera is really very impressive. There I have some indoor images as well, and I am actually very much surprised with the noise handling. I think it's even better than the Redmi 3S Prime. Now I will show you a few more samples and then I will talk about the video. Hey, what's up guys, this is Shukesh once again, and you are watching a video sample from the all new Motorola Moto G4 Play. Well, the video quality seems okay, not the best, but not bad at all considering the price point, and the color recording is, I think, very good. The autofocusing, as I mentioned before, is quite impressive. Guys, the next thing I want to talk about is the battery. Well, 2800 mAh battery for a device in this category with this CPU, GPU and display size seems quite decent. I think this phone will manage to get at least 1.5 days on normal to heavy uses, and there is also a battery saving mode. I didn't face any kind of overheating issue during gaming or while using the cameras. There is also a battery optimization option you can check. Well friends, we are at the end of this full in-depth review on this Motorola Moto G4 Play, and overall I think this is a very decent device for the price of 9,000 rupees. If you are into Motorola brand, you can actually get this device. If you want to play super high graphics games like Nova 3, then you should avoid this phone. Otherwise, for the camera, for the speaker, the display, etc., this Motorola smartphone might be a good choice. That's all I have for you in this review. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If so, then please consider subscribing to this channel. You can also hit the like button below and also comment for any question. This is Shukesh Banik signing off. Have a nice day guys.